You never keep me here. I hear freedom cry. I feel not chased by. I see Jesus coming. You never keep me here. I know my God is near. I know my God is near.
But anywho, I'm coming back from an interview I just did to be a house manager at a drug and alcohol treatment facility. And the interesting part is it is a drug and alcohol treatment facility for mentally ill patients, people. You guys, I haven't been vlogging. We've been going through, I don't know what's going on with this stupid thing. Hopefully this isn't like cracked out footage, no pun intended. But we've been going through an interesting time. So Marcus ended up having, I don't even want to call it an episode, but it was, you know, remember you guys how he left my house and he went to the shelter? Well, my brother and my dad decided that he could stay at their house. Marcus ended up, you know, doing the stuff he was doing at our house, and, you know, became violent. He started to fight. Remember I told you guys in the one vlog that my brother got into a fight? Well, ever since then he's just been being physical. So it just became too much. Last night apparently they got into an altercation. The cops were called. Yeah, last night they got into an altercation. The cops were called. My brother ended up being arrested for simple assault, you know, against my father. It was this whole big rah-rah. I went over to the house, to my dad's house, you know, because we got the call. My brother Ted was at work. He couldn't leave, supposedly, whatever. And I get there, and I'm talking to my dad on the porch. When I come, my brother's talking to the two cops. They already took Marcus down to booking. My dad is on the porch sitting by himself. So we're talking, and I'm like talking to him like, well, what happened? What happened? He goes, he started to say something, but his words were slurred. So I was like, are you sober? Like, are you drunk? Like, what? I said, are you sober? He's like, no. He's like, I'm good. I'm not drunk. So then my Aunt Tracy comes to the door, right? And she looks me up and down, walks back in. Meanwhile, I'm still standing on the steps in the porch of my house. And so then I'm still talking to my dad. So I'm like, are you sober? Like, what? I said, this is why I don't fool with your family, because they're always disrespectful. They're always being, you know, just janky. Like, what was the cause for you to come and do it? You didn't speak to me. You didn't say hi. Like, you just looked me up and down, close like I'm nothing. Okay, cool. I know now not to, you know, speak on it. So then I'm literally talking to my dad, and his wife comes to the door, like, just swings the door open, just stands there, doesn't say hi, hey Ash, like, you know, there was no like tired, regretful, nothing in her voice. It was just like and she's like, first of all, I'm talking to my dad, she don't even know what we're talking about. She like, first of all, I said, whoa. I said, no, I haven't been disrespectful to you, no disrespect or nothing, like, but I'm having a conversation with my father. Like, I don't understand what all that's for. She said, what? Oh, you're bipolar just like your brother, and goes back in the house. So then my pettiness goes, I was like, okay, that says a lot coming from somebody that played mentally ill for a year to get off of an attempted murder charge. You forget that you stabbed my dad? So then my dad's like, no, Ashley, just be quiet, just be quiet, just be quiet. That's a whole other cup of tea I can spill. So I'm like, you know what, I didn't come here for this. I said, you know what, Dad. So she goes back in. Then she, like, 10 seconds later, I guess she comes back out, stands there with her hand on her hip, just staring at me, all in the conversation. I said, you know what, Dad? I said, well, when you sober up, then I'll come and have a conversation with you. Oh, this truck, baby. What is you doing? Oh, he whipped that, though. Good job. But I was like, you know, when you sober up, I'll have this conversation, because then when I'm telling my dad, here comes my grandma, we call her Nanny, yelling in my face, why don't you just take your brother home? Why don't you just take your brother and leave? And I'm like, I told him that. Like, the Holy Ghost had me restrained, y'all. Like, I couldn't even get upset. Like, I couldn't even get, like, I had a couple of petty moments. I had a couple of petty shots. I ain't even gonna lie. I definitely did. But the Holy Ghost had me, like, in full-on control, y'all. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I told my dad what to do. She said, what? We gotta pay $300 or $400 to get your brother out of this house? Why don't you just let him go to your house? He's your brother. Like, just kept on, like, excuse me. And it kept on. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I've been having a conversation with my dad about this. This is the first time my grandma's finding out about this, and other people in the family, besides those that lived there. So I'm like, I told my dad what he has to do. Because the same way I had to go through what I had to go through in my house with my brother, y'all know from previous vlogs. Like, that's what I told my dad he has to do. But Monica, period. And so I said, people don't want to believe you when you tell them stuff, but it's the truth. You have to. I said, you have to when dealing with someone like that. So she's yelling all this. So finally she stops yelling and starts to listen to what I'm saying. I need some water or something. And she starts to listen to what I'm saying. And I'm like, Grandma, like, I'm like, man, like, this is, we told him, go get a PFA. He'll be immediately evicted from the premises. You know, you won't have to worry about this right now. Like, he'll, you know, so he'll see. I said, sometimes you have to hit, like I put on my Facebook status, I said, sometimes you have to let people you love hit rock bottom in hopes that they'll get themselves together. And I wholeheartedly mean that, because we've been through so much with my brother. It's so mentally and spiritually and physically draining. Like, I haven't slept. I didn't sleep all night. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I had to drink a strong cup of coffee. And then even now, like, he has nowhere to go. Like, and he came to my house and I said, Marcus, I cannot let you in my house. And that hurt my soul. You don't want to see your family member out there on the street, let alone your brother. And but the reason why I was being so like pronunciating the fact that my grandma kept saying brother, or excuse me, my father's mom, my dad's mom, because I cut them off a long time ago, is because my brother is not my dad's biological child, but my dad has raised him since he was born. Like, you know, my mom and dad got married, that he's always been my dad's son, and my dad claims him as his son to this day. It's just his family, and it really comes out when there's an issue. And so it's just interesting how, and I was just like, wow. I said, you know what, these people are just too much. So I'm sorry, y'all, like, I need some water. So moving on, I'm just like, so my brother comes over and grabs me because my dad's wife keeps on coming. I'm like, she keeps getting closer and closer to me, and I'm like, in my mind, like, I'm almost like, God forgive me in advance, because if this lady swings or thinks she's about to do anything to me, I'm going to flip her down these steps. And I was like, I know that's not the Christian thing to do, Lord. And I was like, Lord, just give me restraint, because I don't know, like, she's tripping, like, you know, like, she's like looking at me, I'm like, why are y'all being like, I didn't come over here. She's like, I said, first, I'm not coming in here and condoning anything that my brother did. No, it's wrong. I said, but I'm telling my dad, like, I'm saying, I've been told my dad what needs to be done. He chose to make this decision to bring him into this house, and we told him not to. So I said, I don't understand why everybody is being all like, I should have went. I don't understand why everybody is being like this. You're just not finding out about this. And then my aunt's trying to talk to the cop, and she don't know nothing about what's going on. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with this family. I said, yo, you can keep this family. I said, I know they say family's everything and something happened. I can honestly say I would not be like nothing, because they've never been nothing to me. They've never been family to me. Like, I think my cousin Autumn, and like my cousin Nicole Amber, like my cousins I was close to at one point in time, but now we don't speak. We don't nothing. Like, and I really don't feel anything in my heart for them. God forbid something happens to them, because I don't wish that on anybody. But I really just do not care to have a relationship with them. And I do not care for my son to have a relationship with them, because they are so crazy bananas. Like, I just couldn't believe that the things that were said. I said, then the fact that they disowned my my brother, which we've always said that they did, because they've always treated me and my brother differently than my other brother Ted. Like, they've never been there for us. They never supported us in anything. My grandma, I'm telling you, my brother will get a flat screen TV and my grandma will give you a pair of socks out of a 6-pack of socks and say Merry Christmas and won't think nothing's wrong with it. She's always catered to him. And my brother is just getting tired of it. And I was just like, you know what, it's a stressful situation. It's a very stressful situation, but like, for that to happen, and I told my dad, I said, you know, some things can't be undone. Some things that are said cannot be undone, because it just can't. That's just the fact of the matter. People's true colors come out when they go through stuff. Excuse me. Lord, help me. And that's what happened. And I'm like, we already knew, but just to hear it verbalized out of their mouth that he's not family, and like, my grandma was like, try to make like light of it after realizing how wrong she was for screaming in my face, and how I never disrespected her or talked back to her or anything. She finally realized, and she was like, gonna say to the cop, man, family, I tell ya. And I was like, good thing he's not yours. Like, I had a couple of petty moments, and I had to, when I was driving home, I said, God, you got to remove this. I said, I don't want to hate them in my heart. Please remove any type of ill feeling in my heart. And God, let me just give it to you, because I don't want to live like that. Like, I don't want that to be my life. I don't want that to be my story. So I was just like, you know, like, whatever. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, this is, y'all are being crazy. I should have got over. What am I doing? What am I doing for real? Why are all the schools standing outside? Like, all the kids are standing outside. Like, I just passed a high, is it a high school over there? High school or middle school, something. All the kids were standing out in the yard. And then up here, this middle school or elementary school, all the kids are standing outside in the yard. So does everybody have a fire drill on the same day? Or was there like a bomb threat at like all the schools? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it just was crazy. So now Marcus is officially homeless. But that brings me to, I'm sorry y'all, I just had to give y'all a little bit of tidbit why I've been missing in action, because I'm dealing with that again. And he showed up at my door and I didn't let him in. Then he showed back up at 6 in the morning. And I'm just like, what did you walk around all night until it was morning and came back to my house? And so I'm wondering what's going to happen now. But I just went on this interview for this position. Now, this position is not paying, this position is paying like next to nothing. Like, honest to God, it's paying like next to nothing. Like, I don't know why all these people are standing outside. It's freaking me out. But the position is paying like next to nothing. And but the experience I would get, the management experience I would get, the human services experience I would get is like virtually priceless. And if I were to go back to school, if I would go back to school, if I would go back to school, like that, and that experience would really help me move up inside of that type of world. My thing is this: can I survive making that low of amount of money? Like, can I pay my bills? Now, if I can do that, plus this work from home position, that's different. But I don't know. So I'm really gonna pray about it. I had an excellent vibe with the hiring manager. Like, she was so funny. Like, and I was just sharing with her what I've been going through with my brother. It was just so uncanny and ironic that that's what I would be dealing with, like, with my job. And she gave me all this information. I kind of just dumped on her, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, this is perfectly fine, because it shows me you have experience with this, and this is what the job is. So she's like, I have one more interview to do, and if you are selected, we are, I forgot, I'm sorry, when I be driving, I be zoning out. But yeah, it went great. The interview went great. So that's something I really have to think about. But sidebar, there was a stink bug flying around her office when I came in. It was crawling on her desk when I came in. So I immediately I had to stop myself from being real itchy scratchy. I was so nervous about that stink bug. Then it started to fly low key, and that's right when she turned her back, and I'm like, oh my god, what if this stink bug lands on me? I got so nervous. I got so freaking nervous because I was like, what if this stink bug lands on me? That was gonna be so weird for my life.